Welcome once again, students, here with the paper of statistics 1 HSSE 1 2015 annual and 2015 supplementary for the FBISE, Federal Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education. Same paper is asked in the 2015 supplementary, which was asked in the 2015. So let's take a start. First question, as you know, about the MCQs, and I will not waste time so much on this. First question, highlighted answers are given. So a specific character of sample is called statistic. A variable that assumes only some selected values in a range is called discrete data. Color of flower is an example of qualitative variable. The group data is called secondary data. In classification, the data is arranged according to similarities. A sector diagram is also called pie chart or pie diagram. MCQ number 7, the measure of central tendency listed below is the mean. Mode of the series 0, 0, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 8, 10 is 0 because 0 is appeared 3 times. The population mean mu is called parameter. In symmetrical distribution, Q3 minus Q1 equals to 20, median equals to 15, Q3 is equals to 25. The standard deviation of minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5 is equals to 0 because there is no variation in the data. The measure of dispersion can never be negative. MCQ number 13, when index number is calculated for several variables, it is called composite index number. Purchase price index number is also called current year weighted index number. Having upward bias is Lespier's index. If regression line y hat equals to 5, then value of regression coefficient of y on x will be 0. A business cycle has 4 stages. So this was the first question, and all the correct options are given here. Now we move to the section B. Differentiate between variable and constant. Variable is a data, numbers, figures which does not remain fixed, and constant always remain fixed, as you know. Name the sources of primary data. Questionnaire, surveys, interviews, polls, emails, telephone. Through SMS you can get the primary data. Through mail you can get the primary data. Through poll and surveys and interviews you can get the primary data. And third question is that distinguish between histogram and histogram. In last 2 papers this question also appeared. Answer is the same. Histogram, as you know, is the graph of time series, whereas in histogram we take the class boundaries on x-axis and respective frequencies on y-axis. Write down the qualities of a good average. It should be easy to calculate, simple to understand. It should be clearly defined by mathematical formula. It should not be affected by extreme values. It should be based on all the observation. It should be capable of further mathematical treatment. I should have simple stability. Question number 5 is u equals to x minus 170 over 5. Sum of f u equals to 100. Sum of f equals to 200. Find arithmetic mean. It is the data which is related to the coding method, and in coding method arithmetic mean for group data is equals to a plus sum of fu over sum of f multiplied by h. Sum of fu is given, sum of f is here. Also remember one thing, that u is equals to x minus a over h. So this is a 170 and h is 5. So after putting the values into this formula, mean will become 172.5. Define geometric mean. It is the type of average which is typically used in investment portfolios. There are 2 different formulas for ungrouped and grouped data. In ungrouped data, geometric mean is antilog of sum of log or log of x over n. and in group data it is antilog of sum of f log x over sum of f. Question number 7, that find unbiased sample standard deviation of the scores 30, 35 and 40. Formula for standard deviation is sum of x square over n minus mean square under root, and here sum of x is 105 and sum of x square is 3725. So just put these values into this formula and take the answer, that is 4.08. Question number 8, sum of x equals to 180, sum of x square is 6660 and n equals to 5. Find coefficient of variation. Always mind it that coefficient of variation is also equals to standard deviation over mean multiplied by 100. So first of all we need the standard deviation, and standard deviation is equals to sum of x square. We use this formula here also. So sum of x square over n, sum of x over n whole square whole under root. The sum of x square is 6660, n is equals to 5, sum of x equals to 180 and n is 5, and after the calculation standard deviation is 6 and mean is equals to 36 here, because mean is equals to sum of x over n. So after putting the values into this formula, coefficient of variation will be 16.67. Question number 9, the first four moments about the arithmetic mean of a distribution are 0, 4, 6 and 48. Find beta 2. So beta 2 is equals to moment 4 over moment 2 square. So moment 4 is here 48 and second moment is 4, so answer will be 3. Define the term skewness. Simply, if all the three averages, arithmetic mean, median and mode are equal, then we can say that the data is symmetrical data, so there will be no skewness. But if all these three average are not equal, then there is a skewness, and skewness may be positive or negative. If arithmetic mean is greater than median and median is greater than mode, it will be positive skewness, and in reverse case it will be negative skewness. Sum of p not qn equals to 1000 and sum of p and qn equals to 1360. Find current year weighted index. Current year weighted index is always equals to sum of p and qn over sum of p naught qn multiplied by 100, or simply we can say it is the formula of purchase index number. So after putting the values into this formula, index will be 136. What is cost of living index number? Cost of living index is a theoretical price index that measures the relative cost of living over time of regions. It is an index that measures differences in the price of goods and services and allows for substitution with other items as price vary. X bar equals to 1, Y bar equals to 8 and beta equals to 2. Find the value of intercept A. Intercept formula is Y bar minus beta X bar, so simply put the values and the answer will be 6. If beta y on x equals to minus 1.6 and beta x on y equals to minus 0.4, find the value of correlation between x and y. In previous papers, we also discussed this, that correlation is also equals to the geometric mean of two regression coefficients, and here are two regression coefficients. Just so simply multiply these two and take the under root and answer will be 0.8, and this will be the negative relation. It will become minus 0.8 because there are negative relation between the variables. What is meant by residual? In regression analysis, the difference between the observed value of the dependent variable y and the predicted value of y hat is called the residual. Each data point has one residual. Residual equals to observed value minus predicted value, or we can say y minus y hat. Both the sum and the mean of the residuals are equals to 0. Question number 16. Sum of x equals to 0, sum of y 27.1, sum of x y 29.5, sum of x square equals to 330 and equals to 10. Determine the value of b. Once again, This sort of question also appeared in the previous paper, where I told you that if sum of x equals to 0, it means it is the question of time series. So in time series, beta is equals to sum of xy over sum of x square. So simply put the values into this formula and beta or slope will be equals to 0.089. Question 17. If y equals to 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 and x equals to -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and y hat equals to 20 plus 2x, compute the sum of squares of residual. Mind it that sum of square of residual. First of all, residual in the previous theoretical question, we discussed that it is equals to y minus y hat. So first of all, we just put the value of x one by one into this equation and take the y hat, and after that we take the y minus y hat, which is equals to 0, that 16 minus 16, 18 minus 18, 20 minus 20 and so on. And after that we need the sum of squares of residual, so we take the square and square also will be 0. What is meant by seasonal variation? There are short-term movements occurring in our data due to seasonal factors. For example, it is commonly observed that the consumption of ice cream during summer is generally high, and hence sales of an ice cream dealer would be higher in some months of year, while relatively low during winter months. So the variation which occurs due to the season, it is called seasonal variation. Irregular variation, there are sudden changes occurring in a time series. These are sudden in nature, that is why they cannot be explained through trends or seasonal or cyclical movements. For example, sudden change due to tsunami or earthquake, etc. are an example of irregular variation. In section C, the following frequency distribution shows the hourly income of 100 households in a locality. Calculate the arithmetic mean and show that sum of deviations of values from their mean is equals to 0. So first of all, we should calculate the arithmetic mean, and arithmetic mean is equals to, in group data, it is equals to sum of fx over sum of f. And how can we calculate x? Simply add up these two values and divide the sum by 2. 39 plus 35 divided by 2 equals to 37, 44 plus 40 divided by 2 equals to 42 and so on. And here f or frequencies are also given, so product of frequency and x is called fx, and the sum of fx is 4950 and sum of f equals to 100, so answer will be 49.5. Now the question is that sum of deviations from their mean is 0. So first of all, what is x minus x bar? So x bar is equals to 49.5, so 37 minus 49.5 equals to minus 12.5, 42 minus 49.5 equals to minus 7.5, 47 minus 49.5 equals to minus 2.5 and so on. And f multiplied by x minus x bar, we just simply multiply x minus x bar with respective f, and we take the answer as minus 12.5 multiplied by 13 minus 162.5 minus 7.5 multiplied by 15 minus 112.5 and so on. And after taking the sum, you can notice that sum of fx minus x bar equals to 0. Compute the Bowles coefficient of skewness and interpret its value of the data given below. First of all, Bowles coefficient of skewness is quartile 3 plus quartile 1 minus 2 median divided by quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So first of all, here as you are seeing that we need quartile 3, quartile 1 and median. So quartile 3, quartile 1 and median. What is the formula for median? L plus h over fn over 2 minus c. And how can, there is no need to calculate the class boundaries because upper boundary of first class and lower boundary of second class is equal, so there is no need to calculate the class boundaries. So simply we need here cumulative frequency 12, 12 plus 15, 27, 27 plus 16, 43 and so on. And if last cumulative frequency is equals to sum of f, then it means that your calculated cumulative frequencies are accurate. So here, how can we select the model class? Simply 70 divided by 2 equals to 35, and 35 falls in cumulative frequency of 43. So here it will be our model class. So what is L? L stands for lower class boundary. H is the difference of x values, as you are seeing here that 45, 55, 65. So H is 10. So H is 10. F is 16. In front of this class, F is 16. N by 2, as we calculated earlier, 70 by 2 equals to 35. And cumulative frequency is the cumulative frequency prior to the model class, and that is 27. And answer will be 65. Similarly, in the same manner, we can calculate quartile 1 and quartile 3. But one thing which you remember, that quartile also be divided by 4, and the number of quartile will be multiplied by n. All the methodology to select the model class is the same as in the case of median. So here median, it is n by 2, so we calculated n by 2 and select the model class. Similarly here, n is equals to 70 and 70 by 4. 70 by 4 is equals to 17.5. So 17.5 falls in the cumulative frequency of 27. So this will be our model class. So 50 H is 10, we already discussed, and F is 15, N by 4 is 17.5 minus cumulative frequency which is prior to model class, that is 12. So quartile 1 is 53.67. Similarly 3n by 4 is equals to 52.5, which falls in the cumulative frequency of 58. So model class will be here. So 70 L plus H is the difference of x values. So 10 divided by F is 15, and 3n by 4 is 52.5, and cumulative frequency prior to the mod class is 43. So answer is 76.34. So after taking these three calculations, just put up these calculations into this formula, and you can see that Bowley's coefficient of skewness is 0. It means that there is no skewness in the data. Question number 4, compute the index number using simple aggregative method with 1952 as base year. It is very easy question. That first year, as it is defined here, that it is the base year. So the sum of this first year will be sum of P0. The sum of 1953 will be taken as sum of P1. Sum of 1954 will be taken as sum of P2, and sum of 1955 prices will be taken as sum of P3. So one by one we can calculate the aggregative, simple aggregative index. That for 1953 it will become sum of P1 over P0 multiplied by 100. For 1954 it will become sum of P2 over P0 multiplied by 100, and for 1955 it will become sum of P3 over P0 multiplied by 100. So after putting the values into these formulas, you can take the answer. Question number 5, part A. The following sample observations were randomly selected. Determine the value of y hat when x is 7. First of all, we must have the y hat or simple regression equation. So for regression equation, there are multiple formulas. Here I used different formula which was not discussed in the previous papers. You can also use those formulas, but I think that this is an easy formula. And here alpha is equals to y bar minus beta x bar, and beta is equal to sum of xy minus mean of x multiplied by mean of y divided by sum of x square minus n and x bar whole square. So we need 5 different calculations: x, y, x square, and product of xy. And here are the given calculations. So after putting the values here, first of all we calculate the beta, that is 0.38. After that alpha, which is equals to y bar equals to y sum of y over n, which is equals to 5, and x bar equals to 30 over 6. So after putting the values here, alpha will be equals to 3.72, and now our equation will be 3.72 plus 0.38x. So if x equals to 7, then y hat, just simply put the value of x here and calculate. Y hat will be 6.38. In B part, compute 3-year and 5-year moving averages from the following data. First of all, when we calculate the 3-year moving average, subtract 1 from 3 and the remaining will be 2, and half of 2 is 1. So leave 1 row from top and 1 row from bottom, and add up 3 values one by one. 6.2 plus 7.8 plus 8.3 equals to 22.3. Now leave one value and remaining will be 7.8 plus 8.3 plus 9.3 equals to 25.4. Leave one another value and add up next 3 values, 8.3 plus 9.3 plus 8.6, and sum is 26.2. Now leave one another value and similarly add up all the values, and here are the total. And after that take the average of these totals. As you know that here are the totals of 3 values. So 22 by 0.3 divided by 3 equals to 7.433, 25.4 divided by 3, 8.467, and so on, and it is the 3-year moving average. For the calculation of 5-year moving average, just subtract 1 from 5 and remaining will be 4, and half of 4 is 2. So leave 2 rows from top and 2 rows from bottom and add up 5 values: 6.2 plus 7.8 plus 8.3 plus 9.3 plus 8.6, and the sum is 40.2. And now leave one value and add up next remaining 5 values: 7.8, 8.3, 9.3, 8.6, 7.8, 41.8, and similarly add up all next values and take the average. Here we add up 5 values, so 40.2 divided by 5 equals to 8.04, 41.8 divided by 5 equals to 8.36, and so on. So in this way you can calculate the 3-year and 5-year moving average. Thank you.